I want to get into these comments that are surfacing all over social media. People are bringing up old clips of either live videos or things from the show. I've even been watching some of the past episodes when I have some time because I watched the Todd and Kandi wedding. I watched those previous seasons of The Real Housewives of Atlanta. And I'm going to be honest with you guys. Yeah, Mama Joyce, she had been messy in a whole lot of things. But I'm starting to feel like she may have been right in a lot of her views on Todd, and not so much just because of who Todd was, because she knows her daughter. And it just seems like when it comes to her daughter, she doesn't really make the best decisions in the love department, if you even want to call it love. So with people questioning whether he ever truly valued his marriage to Kandi, when a husband openly jokes or admits that he never wanted marriage and plans to pretty much smash her friends, even if it was a joke, once it's over, that's not normal. That's not cute. It's not funny. And that's definitely not love. So let's talk about it. Thanks for stopping by the Being Beautifully Honest podcast and channel. Thanks for being here, being subbed. If you're not, hit the button. And if you're listening on YouTube, hit the like. It's like walking in the room and hitting that light switch. Let's brighten up the place and get into the real of reality TV.
Talk to me nice, talk to me honestly. Look in my eyes, don't let it fall on me. Say you're a good guy, make me believe it. Don't wanna hear it, I wanna see it. See how rewind, when we rewind, feels so nice.
Were you thinking about marriage at all?
Nah. I just thought she was cool. I was like, she's cool. She's real chill. Like, I like her little energy. She got a big booty. What's up? You know what I mean? But nah, it wasn't. Yeah, the marriage thing didn't come to the prayer thing and her telling me to make a decision. I was like, oh, I like that shit. That shit is hot.
Well, let's
Who do
be
you
clear.
think she is?
Well, I mean, come on. I didn't have time to be playing games with you.
I'm smashing all Candy's friends and we singing. Shut the ball down.
Ella Jones says, Kandi, it's good to see you in good spirits with so much going on. I'm sorry about you and Todd. Okay, so yeah. For those who don't really be on the internet, clearly, well, everybody that's been on the internet, I'm sure y'all saw that. I filed for divorce on Friday. And yeah. Right now it's a pretty crazy time. We'll talk about more of that later. I don't want to be sad right now. Sage says, how are you feeling today? Okay, Sage. I'm going to be very honest with you. I am up and down. You know, obviously going through a divorce is definitely not the easiest thing. You know, sometimes, you know, you're cool, you know what I mean? You're moving, you're mixing, you're moving, and you're hanging out with friends. But then sometimes you have your moments of sadness, you know. And me being the Taurus that I am, I like to keep those moments to myself. When I was on Housewives, I really couldn't keep moments to myself when I got upset, so y'all would catch me crying. But in real life, my everyday life, you know, I don't really like for those moments to be shared with the world. So, but I am sharing with my Amazon family today. So I am up and down. And to be clear, yes, I filed Friday, but, you know, this is something that, you know, has been brewing for a while. So all the times you've been seeing me online like, all of that, means nothing. I've been going through it, y'all. I've been going through it. Life has been lifing me. Okay? Got it. Mrs. Little says, how are you holding up? Ooh, I mean, I guess as good as I can be. It's kind of hard sometimes when you see all the stuff online and, you know, it's just everybody is making their own narrative of what's going on. And, you know, sometimes I'll be wanting to comment, but then I'm like, no. So I'm all over the place. Put it that way. Tanya says, I'm so sorry to hear this. You guys look so good together. Thank you. Well, what I will say is, Todd and I were together our marriage lasted 11 years. We was together like 14. We got 2 wonderful, beautiful children. I have no regrets. Okay? So, I mean, sometimes things don't work out, and it just is what it is.
So let's get into the comments about never wanting to be married. And then doubling down by saying he'll sleep with Kandi's friends once everything is done. If it is done, that's not even a joke that a husband should ever say. It's not funny. Even if you have an open marriage, which I don't agree with. I'm never here to judge what someone chooses to do in their own household because it doesn't affect me. It's not my life. You ain't my husband. I ain't your wife. Y'all do what you want to do. But when it comes to me and my household, there's some things that definitely would never take place. And that's one of them. Why even be married? So who says things like that about a wife that you love? Especially a wife who pretty much changed your entire life, upgraded your lifestyle, helped you secure multiple businesses that probably was draining her finances, and stood beside you from ATL to Broadway. So, you know, it's looking like a lot less like a husband going through marital issues and more like a man who's been emotionally checked out for a long time. And here's the thing. When a man starts threatening to run through your friend group with his dang-a-lang after your marriage ends, that's not a joke. And for you to sit there and laugh like it's funny, y'all all have some issues. That's a man showing who he really is, and maybe he has always been that. So people are asking, was Todd ever fully invested in the marriage, or was this just a business situation? Was he riding the wave of the fame? Was this love or the lifestyle? And the fact that she filed, I believe it's one of those things when it comes to the finances, because it's like whoever files first, I believe, somewhat has the upper hand in some ways, especially if there's like no infidelity involved. And I don't even believe that she can even call anything infidelity, even though there was that clip of her talking about how they had a threesome about 6 months ago, and it's cheating if he smashes the chick that they had the threesome with if she doesn't know about it. Well, what is he supposed to do? Send you a text or call you up and say, hey babe, the chick that you saw me smashing in front of you, where you were probably grabbing her butt cheeks or sucking on her nipples or whatever. And this is just disgusting. So that's why I'm just saying this, to show the disgustingness of it all and the ridiculousness of it all. While I was smashing her in front of you, I'm just letting you know that I feel like a nut right now. You're not in town, so I'm going to smash her in the next 30 minutes, and I'm just letting you know. What? This is so ridiculous. So he does this post where she liked it, Cynthia Bailey liked it, Shamia liked it, and ironically, Shamia was the chick that Phaedra was accusing of smashing Kandi and Todd. I don't know if that stuff was ever true, but listen, at this point, I'm obliged to believe that it may have been some truth to it. But he did this post and said, the next scheme is genius. Stay tuned. I'm wondering, and listen, I don't know, but we know Kandi is all about her money, right? And I feel like Todd lost a lot of it with these business ventures and things that he was trying to do, because it seemed like he was trying to do too much. I don't remember which season it was, but it was one season. It was already after the OLG restaurant was opened up. It's pretty already new. And I think he was already talking about opening up another spot, and then doing an OLG breakfast spot, and then doing an OLG Olay or something like that, where it's supposed to be a Mexican restaurant, which that should be offensive to Mexican people. I'm not saying black people cannot open up a restaurant where they're serving Mexican food, but I'm just saying I feel like it's offensive to have black people opening up a restaurant where they were going to call it Olay G. It's supposed to be like Olay, you know what I mean? It's kind of offensive. I don't think you would want to see Mexican people opening up a rib joint or a soul food restaurant, and they're calling it something where they feel like it is a term that black people would reference, because people would see that as offensive. But either way, that never happened. I believe he was going to do a trucking business. I don't think that ever worked out. So to me, it just seemed like, because of whatever the agreement was with the prenuptial agreement, and it was whatever money she made prior to the marriage, that money is hers. But whatever they do together after they get married, then they both will benefit from. I believe that he just started out the gate saying, all right, I gotta get my time in, get this money up, so that once it's over, because I don't believe that he was ever intending on this to be a long-term thing, that he would have stacked up his chips so that he can retire gracefully from this situationship. That's my opinion. So, with all of that being said, it's possible. That's just saying, I don't know, because Kandi is still considered a part of the Bravo family. Do you think that they could possibly monetize this ending of the marriage? Because we know they monetized the beginning of it. Do you believe that they will monetize the end of it, and they will have a show showcasing them going through the divorce? I don't know. I'm not saying that they will do that, but I'm not saying that they would be against it, because hell, they already put all of the other stuff on TV. So why would they not do this and allow the both of them to be able to get some money up? Because I do believe that they lost a lot. And I had already said this before. Once she's no longer on the show, even though I had pushback from people saying, Kandi's rich, Kandi don't need that check. Please, that check helped to fund all of the other, for the most part, all of the other projects and businesses that she was creating and starting, as well as Todd. He had the ideas, she had the funding and the finances, and that's it. So once they didn't have that check anymore, all of the other things started to crumble and deteriorate, because they weren't really making it like that from the other things. Definitely not saying she was in the poorhouse and she was about to lose her home and, going to need some government assistance. Definitely not saying that. So is it possible that they could be back on Bravo having another little spin-off show where they're going to get a nice little hefty check showcasing the ending of the marriage? I don't know. Could be possible. But if it happens, you heard it here. And I'm not saying you heard it here first, but I didn't hear anybody else talking about it. This is what came from my mind. And I'm saying that it's possible that they could try to do this, because him talking about the next scheme is genius. Stay tuned. And Kandi is liking the post, as well as Shamia and Cynthia. I don't know, guys.
Though, I'm gonna be real with y'all. For y'all women who are bosses and have all this money and got this extra shit.
Why are you saying it like that?
No, because I think, I understand the double standard, but I think you also need to understand the man that you're with, the man that you chose and you're allowed to choose you, that you can't be so mine. You know what I mean? You have to open up within reason. I'm not saying going by no niggas, no Bentleys and doing dumb shit. But you gotta invest in y'all and y'all future, and you gotta let your man feel like a man in those scenarios. Because with all the money that you have, you know, you can end up by yourself. You know what I mean? Because at times, that type of energy of it's mine. No, I'm just being honest as a man. I'm just giving you my honest.
So yeah, based on these videos, it's possible that Todd was feeling a bit emasculated, and I'm not here to excuse that. But honestly, the relationship was just kind of piss poor from the very beginning, because Kandi is used to being who she is, and I kind of feel like Tasha K was onto something, and I agree with her in aspects of her pretty much just being more team Les than, you know, team husband. Because she, I feel like, wanted to have more children, wanted to expand her family. She's talked about that before. She got with this man who she already knew financially was not on the same, you know, playing field that she was on. And then she told him, quit your job, let's just do this. If she told him that that's what she wanted him to do, but yet she was always talking about my money, my money, my money. And while I'm not saying I don't understand where she's coming from, if she chose to be in a relationship with a man but still wanted to kind of hoard it over him or lord it over him, that, you know, this is my money, I built this, you didn't contribute, and this is my wealth, and this is mine, and this is that and the other, then he is going to start to feel offensive. And that's why I said that Tyler Perry rhetoric that he was spewing last year, whenever that was, where he was talking about if you're with a man and all he can do is take you to eat every once in a while and pay the light bill, help with the light bill, that's okay. I was pushing back on that and saying, no, it's not. Because just off the strength of a man being a man, there's something innate within a man where they're not going to always feel comfortable doing that. And I'm not talking about losers. I'm talking about real men, period. And if a loser is a loser, no woman is really going to want to be with them anyway. Because Todd wasn't just a lazy person, just a bum who was just sitting around having his woman take care of him. And that's what all he wanted. He was working. He just wasn't making the type of money that she was making. So I'm just saying that if she was emasculating him from the beginning, it was bound to fail. I don't care if it lasted 20 years. And they just held on for 20 years for it to be a 20-year marriage. But I do feel that a lot of the reasons why she filed, it's financial. It definitely wasn't about him being with other women or infidelity. Those things could have happened, but I don't feel like for Kandi that was that big of a deal as it is when it comes to her money. Somebody in the comments said, come to the table with nothing and leave with nothing. And somebody else said, he didn't say anything wrong, but I do think men should consider what makes them feel like a man. If being the breadwinner is what you require to feel like a man, you shouldn't pursue a woman who has more money than you. And that's facts. So that's my point that I was saying. If Kandi was doing that and it was making him feel emasculated, he didn't have to choose to be with a woman that he already knew had more financially than he did. But also, if Kandi chose to be with a man where she was like, quit your job, I want you to just be with me all the time, I don't want you traveling to work, and I want us to do this thing together, and I'm gonna buy a house and you can move in with me, and as long as you can put 5 on it, then it's all good, then she shouldn't have held that over his head financially to the point where he's sitting there making a video while she's getting her makeup done to talk about you got to let your man feel like a man. And he wasn't sitting there talking about chicks smashing the homies. He was talking about money, period. So, you know, Todd being out in the club, him talking about he wasn't thinking about marriage, and her sitting there laughing it off like it was funny. I mean, there was nothing funny about it. And honestly, Mama Joyce, she she was right in a lot of her views about Todd and her not marrying this man. Now, I don't know how the prenup is going to play out, because I was just thinking of from the aspect of what happened when she had him sign the prenup. But apparently, once 10 years is up, then there's things that can be challenged. So we shall see. We shall see what comes of this, guys. But I just feel that this situation, we're going to see how it plays out, because we don't know until it does and until it ends. Right now, it's still fresh. It's still the beginning. But I feel like they both care about money. Kandi definitely cares about money. I feel like that is the main reason why she divorced, not having anything to do with the sexual stuff, because clearly she didn't really care that much. She is an advocate for threesomes. It's just really ridiculous. And when he's talking about smashing the friends, she's sitting there laughing about it. When he's talking about marriage, and it was, oh, that was Kandi's idea, I wasn't really thinking about it, she got a big booty, she's all right, ow. It's like, okay, this is not, he wasn't really marriage material. But to be honest with you, when I was watching the show those years back and those seasons when they were going through what they were going through, I didn't sit and analyze things like that, just kind of watching and passing. And now I really understand what Mama Joyce was talking about, because Kandi just really wasn't making the best decisions when it came to the love department. She had a child by a married man, Block. She was going to marry AJ, a man that had like 6 or 7 other kids. She didn't have any kids with him, but Mama Joyce was clearly concerned about the financials where that situation was involved. And I did agree with her, and I understood where she was coming from with that. But unfortunately, AJ lost his life. And then now she gets with Todd, who may not have had a bunch of kids, but was not on Kandi's financial level. And Mama Joyce, she loves her daughter. Right or wrong, she loves her daughter, and she was looking out for her daughter. Not saying she made all of the appropriate decisions and right decisions when it came to everything. And a lot of it was entertaining for us as the viewing audience. But yeah, Todd, he was never marriage material. And I do remember the Kandi and Todd wedding special, and he was pissed off about their prenup. But I was just of the mindset of, well, there's really nothing he can do about it, because he is on video agreeing that he was okay with it and was agreeing with the things and the terms that was in it. And he said himself on video, he's not signing it out of duress. Now I'm hearing other people say, well, it's possible he could challenge it because he actually did not want to do it, but he did it. But it wasn't 2 years later, it's now 11 years later. So we'll see where this goes. But I want to know what you guys think. I just wanted to talk about this a little bit more, so you let me know your thoughts in the comments. And I may come back with some more, because sometimes there's just other thoughts that come up where it's like, dang, I didn't touch on that. I need to come back and get into that. So you guys let me know your thoughts in the comments. Thanks for being here, liking and subscribing. I'm Beth, just being beautifully honest. So until next time, I wanted to keep it brief, beautiful, and I'm going to say bye.